channel. If you're new here, my name is Becky, and today's video is going to be a little different. We're diving into cross training and how it can seriously level up your ballet game. I'm here with some of my awesome friends, and together we've been working with an equally awesome physical therapist, Josh, to improve our strength, flexibility, and overall performance in ballet. Today, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you how cross training has really made a difference for me and my friends. And we're going to annoy Josh just a little with a bit of an interview. This is Josh, and he's been working with me 4 months. You are the first and honestly only PT I went to after I got injured. I was like, I need a sports physical therapist. Looked you up and was like, we're gonna go there. Yep. And then we did a consultation and I was like, you're stuck with me. And now I bully all of my friends into also coming for PT 100%. And more people. You'd be surprised how many people I tell you should just come for PT. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we did a consultation. Yep. We clicked. Mm-hmm. I live here now.
Moved in, no big deal.
And yeah, because I'm a good friend, I have bullied some of my friends into coming for strength and conditioning because they have had injuries in the past or things that have been bothering them for months that they have not done anything about. So, can you tell us again, or them, what exactly you do here at TriStar Performance Strength and Rehab?
Yeah, so I'm a physical therapist and a strength coach, so certified strength conditioning specialist, to be exact.
To be exact.
That sounds cool.
He has certifications.
I have expensive receipts up on my wall right here, but yeah, so the big thing is we're cash-based physical therapy performance clinic. And that's a long way of saying we don't deal with insurance because they can really hold us back.
Yeah.
So for instance, with your calf tear, it could have been something where they're like, all right, you can only train these amount of codes for this amount of time.
Yeah.
We probably couldn't have done our force plate testing.
Right.
Because they would have thought that was medically unnecessary. So we just go the cash-based route for that reason. Mm-hmm. So we can give the person in front of us what we deem that they need, and then after conversations, you feel that you need as well.
Yes.
So yeah, we mainly work with elite performers, and what I mean by that is everybody's an athlete. So we've got I had somebody earlier today at 6 a.m., 67-year-old business owner.
6 a.m.
Yeah, and he's doing jumps, he's doing everything.
Yeah.
We're doing sprints with him, he's doing heavy deads, all that kind of stuff. But then I've got athletes all the way from 12-year-old, baseball, softball players, all the way up to older adults looking for longevity and everything in between. So the way that we kind of separate ourselves is, one, cash is going to be the big thing from a business perspective, but we also lean into performance. So where I am a strength coach as well, and I've got exercise science background, we really lean into the sports science side of it. So as you've been through, we've got the force plates, handheld dynamometers, speed timing gates, and we build out an athlete profile for every person that comes in. And that doesn't dictate where we go, but it gives us a very good idea. So with a mid-thigh pull, you're pulling as hard as you can on an immovable object. That's our strength. Then with the jump, that's power output. So we put those two numbers, gives us a dynamic strength index, and that can be okay, you're stronger than you are powerful. Or more, that kind of dichotomy. And we got to be okay, we need to go this route because that's where we're weakest.
Right.
And then that kind of dictates what our training looks like, and then kind of go from there. So we like the sports science stuff here.
In terms of strength and conditioning as a coach, can you tell us why athletes even recreationally would benefit from it? As opposed to me and some of the other athletes you have that are very sports, very serious, but there's a wide range of people who, like you said, everyone is an athlete, can be an athlete. Why would they benefit from strength and conditioning?
For sure. So I think it depends on what sport they're doing, obviously, but you can't go wrong getting strong. Hey, tagline. But truly, it's one of those things where, and again, another corny tagline, strength can never be a weakness. So we've got to just think about, okay, what is the task that we're going towards? So for instance, ballet dancers.
Yes.
You all need to be highly mobile. and then like just have gas tanks like crazy because your practices and everything is so long, your rehearsals. So we've got to make sure that we're hitting all these boxes. You have to be crazy powerful and crazy strong.
Because if you're too much of one thing and not the other, that's where injury comes.
Correct.
Right?
Yep. Basically all those blind spots and those low points, those deficits, that's where an injury is going to occur. So we basically just got to make sure we reverse engineer that plan. So like for anybody that's dealing with an injury, if you go a traditional PT model, then they'll deal with insurance and they can only do a certain amount of things.
Yes.
Here we treat, like we've done arms the other day, right? Like arms and upper body.
I'm sore right here.
Right here. So like that's going to be the big thing, is trying to make sure that we're training the whole body, right?
Yeah.
So like even your exercise program that you do when you're not here is dialed. Like we know exactly what we're doing. You never miss a day unless you're traveling.
Unless I'm not here.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I'm here, I'm doing it.
100%. I have to stop her. So that's going to be the big thing, is just make sure you got a plan.
Yeah. We're kind of a new ballpark for you, figuratively and literally.
Yes.
You've worked with other sports before, but this is your first real foray into the insanity that we like to call ballet and ballet dancers. So in your experience, what are some specific cross-training exercises that you've enjoyed challenging us with the most?
Heavy lifts of all kinds.
Yeah.
So like just pushing for like 5 rep maxes, 3 rep maxes, because is what I've found is you are much stronger than you think you are.
Yeah.
Like truly. I mean, like Hannah pushed, what was it, like 285, 250? I can't remember
maybe
what it
more
was.
than, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, seeing that,
which is heavier than body weight.
Yes, 2 times body weight is gonna be the goal for everybody that walks in the door, but specifically you all, it's gonna be like 2.5 times body weight. But like that's gonna be the thing, is making sure that we're instilling these principles of like strength and power. And I think you all are starting to realize that y'all are hella strong. And like super powerful. So it's just showing those movements. So going off that, power is gonna be jumps. Very just single leg jumps, moving different directions, because it's not all just up and down. I'll spin a lot.
We turn, we jump sideways, we jump in weird positions.
So that's where like traditional training is gonna fall short. So like those heavy lifts I talked about earlier, they have their place, but that can't be the only thing you do for cross training. It's got to be multi-directional stuff, like the 3-way lunge matrix, like that kind of thing, where you're lunging forward, lunging back, curtsy lunge where you're bringing the leg around. And then we use the Kaiser, so that air pneumatic machine over here that you use. And
that thing's fun.
It's just going as fast as you can with as much force as you can possibly produce. So yeah, I think those are awesome. Hamstring training for you all has been fun. For me to watch. Isometrics, just like crazy amount of volume. But hamstrings is going to be a big injury that y'all potentially have. Hamstring, calf, coffee. And then a lot of lower back is another thing that I've seen. What are some other injuries you have experienced or seen?
We get a lot of ankle injuries as girls, being on point. The guys get a lot of knee stuff because they jump more than we jump. And we already jump a lot, and they do like crazy stuff. Like I've shown you some videos of guys just doing crazy stuff, and they're like, how did that happen? Rebecca's orches.
Orches and orms.
Orches and orms, that type of stuff.
For sure. Okay.
Like, really for us, I think definitely like the lower chain.
I agree.
We agree that a lot. And I guess maybe guys would have to worry about the upper chain because they lift, but as the girls, lower chain, ankles, calves, knees. The stuff we do. How often should you be doing cross training?
I would say 2 to 3 days a week.
2 to 3 days a week.
Now, I think that depends on also how often you're going to the studio. Which is like 7 days a week?
Yeah, for the serious dancers, it's probably 6 days a week.
So, kind of.
Even me, and I dance recreationally. I'm at the studio 5-6 days a week.
And then you got to think about how long you're there, 2 to 4 hours.
Forever.
Right, so it's like...
It's my second home. My first one's here, and then
When you also have a life outside of those things. You know what I mean?
Do I, though?
You say that, you're going to be on a plane here soon. Right? I'm so freaking tired. we've got to make sure your nervous system is not overloaded. So that's why I would say start with 2 and like make it a full body session. So like you hit a little bit of upper push, it's like a bench press, push up, something like that. Vertical pull, so like a pull down, like rows are great. So we're hitting posterior chain in the upper and then hitting an overhead press. So something going overhead. Typically that's enough for upper body. And just variations of those. Then lower body, we've got a lower push. So a squat, lunge. We like single leg stuff here. And you're like, deadlifts is going to be a lower body pull. So we're talking trap bar, barbell, dumbbells, doesn't matter. Kiddos if you're Hannah. Just like load up
you just got
kids in the sun. Yeah, you know, like the husband's getting in like a freaking blanket. But like do something like that.
About that.
Yeah, it's just freaking selfish.
And he's 250 pounds.
I know what I'm saying.
Maybe not, Aaron. If you're listening, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. But also, be on the lookout. You might get lifted here soon. But then doing some specific calf work. So doing some like not a crazy amount of calf raises like we've talked about because you're already doing that. So it's going to be just different types of movement. So if that's fast twitch, if that's isometrics like you've done a lot of, really like the isos for that, and that's something maybe like link in show notes or something like that. But yeah, I mean I think that's a good start, and then hitting core. So with core, you got anti-rotation. It's like a pal-off press. The band is over here, and you're pressing forward, trying to let it rotate you. Dead bugs are good. Then you start doing weighted V-ups, that kind of thing.
Ooh, weighted V-ups.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Yeah, y'all be getting those on, not you on Friday, but the girls will be.
on Friday.
You're going to text you.
We will hear about that.
Also, they see this before, I'm sorry.
They will not see it before.
Sweet. Surprise, V-ups.
If there are any specific stretches or mobility drills you think every dancer should try to incorporate into their routine?
That's a good question. I think hamstrings is going to be the big one, and pairing it with an isometric. So like you throw your leg on everything, put like an isometric there, and then stretch into it.
You just need to stretch.
So that and adductors, so the inner thigh is going to be a good one for your splits. That's going to be a big part, and then also just going after ankle. So like your banded ankle mobilization, the one we did today, the 3-way dorsiflexion stretch is going to be a good one. Past that, making sure your spine can freaking rotate. That way you're not, again, I've not been to class, but I don't know if it's like rigid spine yet. If it's rigid spine or y'all are allowed to rotate, but with all like athletes in general, rotation's going to be a big thing.
How can cross-training help prevent common injuries that ballet dancers face? For our group, it's been, like we mentioned, hamstrings, ankles, calves.
Yeah, I think build up resiliency. So that can be with holding a position. Right? So like Hannah was talking about, like hip flexor was starting to get pretty tight. So we just trained the ever-living crap out of it and get it as strong as possible and resilient. So same thing with hamstring. Hamstring's more high speed is when we're going to have like tears. Same thing with calf. So we've got to train that plyometric, you know, like on that, we call it the force velocity curve, where it's like force is high, it's going to move slow. If the load is low, you can move it fast. So we've got to ride that wave, you know what I mean? Like Kelly Slater in the 90s.
Yes.
But rocket power even, that's even further 90s. Yeah, you're like, I don't know about that one. But that's going to be the big thing, is just making sure we're riding that force velocity curve in a stepwise progression.
Perfect.
Muscles in her arms.
So, as you've seen, we've just wrapped up our strength session for the day, and usually we head directly from here to the studio for a short break, normally some protein, and then 90 minutes or more of point class. And honestly, it's a tough workout. It almost always is. Josh is diligent and pushes us, but I'm feeling super energized, and I always feel really good after PT. It feels like all my muscles are active and how I need them to be. I'm more aware of my core and my body awareness, and just ready to work hard in class. Cross-training has really started to feel like an essential part of my routine, especially as I'm still getting some endurance back in my calf. but let's be real. It's also fun to get to spend another hour with my friends, sweating and laughing together.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Caroline.
There you go.
If you liked this video, don't forget to let me know down in the comment section, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!